Hi there, welcome to Kneppy Invest and welcome to December 23, 2024, the final complete trading day before Christmas and Boxing Day, because tomorrow, Christmas Eve, trading finishes early, I believe at 2:10 p.m. Sydney time. Now today we have about 1 hour of trading left, an hour and 5 minutes, and as expected, a pretty good day on the market. Now honestly thought I'd have trouble finding top 5 stocks all day. I'd even having trouble finding a top stock of the day, but I had a plethora of companies to choose from. I was surprised how many interesting, intriguing announcements were released today. So I did leave out some companies I wanted to talk about. I've already recorded the stock of the day, and it won't be any surprise that it is EML Payments. However, Integrated Research did put up a bit of a fight to EML Payments. Unfortunately, both companies released disappointing announcements, bewildering announcements in terms of EML Payments. I'm still trying to figure that one out, what's happened with the leadership of that company, particularly because it's just happened 1 month after the company released their very popular, in terms of share price rallying, up 40%, their popular EML 2.0 strategy. Anyway, okay, so pretty good day in the markets today. So we'll go through the ASX today, looking at the best and worst performing sectors, indices. I don't expect any sector to be down, and I would assume the best performing sectors probably financials, probably the banks. I'm just making a bit of a guess. Resources, even though it is up, it's not doing as well as the other indices and sectors. Okay, and then we'll go through the top 5 stocks. I'll briefly talk about a few of the other companies that don't make it into the top 5 stocks, and then I'll have a look at some of your questions at the end. Okay, so let's get into the ASX today. And not only has today been really good, we've seen the market rally all through the day. That's a bullish sign. That's probably a pretty good lead into what might be happening on Wall Street tonight. And I do think one of the reasons we were down big on Friday is because Wall Street's futures were down, and Wall Street did open down for the day, but they rallied really quickly after that initial down period. So pretty good end possibly to the year for the ASX. Who knows what's going to happen in the final week. Anyway, so really good day. Everything's up through the day. This is the sort of day where you probably didn't want to be selling on open. For those who've been feeling a little bit skittish because the last 2 trading days, maybe they sold on open. I, in fact, did buy some stocks on open. So I put in 3 orders on open. Very rarely do I buy on open, but I thought today was one of those days where I might want to do that. So I did put 3 orders in. 2 were hit: Mesoblast, Paradigm Pharmaceuticals or Biopharmaceuticals. My other order that was not hit was PeopleIN, and I'm not that disappointed about that, to be honest with you. I put in a bid a little bit lower than where the share price is, and I was just thinking maybe if we saw one person selling, that order could be hit. But I'm not disappointed that hasn't been hit. Anyway, so today, sort of definitely good buying day, particularly on open. You could have said the same thing about Friday. Towards close would have been a good time to be buying as well. Now, if you have a look at the best performing sectors and indices, yeah, financials the best, and everything's up. Although, if you're heavily invested in health, you probably having a disappointing day. Only up 0.47%. More than likely, CSL hasn't been doing as well as the market. Let's have a look. CSL up 0.58%. Yeah, it's not doing as well as the market, but that's one of the reasons why healthcare is down. Materials only up 0.53%, and staples. On a day like this, staples is not going to rally all that much, but all the other sectors are up over 1.2%. And yes, if you look at the indices, the banks, the best performing indice. And let's have a look at the ASX 20. Shall we go 20 companies up, 0 down? Unlikely. I'm not sure if I have seen that before. I'm not going to say that's what we're going to see today. I'm going to say 18 up, 2 down. 19 up, 1 down. I'm still looking for that day. Every single company in the ASX 20 is up. Which unfortunate company is down? And just imagine you put all your money into this one company that is down. You're probably having the worst day ever because you're seeing the overall market up big and you are down. But I don't really endorse that sort of concentrated investing. There are risks to it. But on the flip side, if the company you put all your money into is really successful, you can make a lot of money and become really rich. Okay, so let's have a look. Which company is down today? And it's Rio Tinto, and it's down 0.03%. So if I actually record this video maybe 5 minutes earlier, 5 minutes later, we could have seen 20 up, 0 down. BHP only up a small bit, so iron ore obviously not doing all that much. And yes, CSL coming in 4th worst. And even though it's 4th worst, it's still up 0.4%. Best performing companies, I'm assuming it's the banks. Or Wesfarmers, Banks, Bank, Transurban, Goodman Group. Yeah, so pretty good day across the board. Well, mostly across the board. Okay, so now let's have a look at the top gainers and top losers. I already know which two companies are going to be two of the worst performing companies, EML Payments and Infini Research. But it's going to be interesting to see which other companies are on this list, particularly those companies that did not make it in the top 5. So let's have a look at the top gainers. Now, I would say a lot of these top gainers are probably rising on just positive sentiment in the overall market today. Although MTM Critical Metals is up a fair bit on fairly big turnover, I have seen this company be in the top gainers and top losers a fair bit. Looks like they have done a strategic placement to institutional investors. So share price closed at 14.5 cents. I would assume this placement was not much of a discount. Pengana Capital, I've actually heard of that. $4 million, substantial shareholder. What price is it at? Yeah, completed at 0% discount. The market loves that sort of thing. Oh, no discount, wow. In fact, about probably 12, 13 years ago, I actually bought some shares in a company simply because they did a strategic capital raising, and it was at a premium to the share price. And I went, whoa, this they must be seeing something really good in this company. And that company was Structural Monitoring Systems. And then I sold a few years later, and I'm just going to have a look at the chart for Structural. Nothing has really happened with this company, to be honest with you, over the last 12 years. This company has shown promise. Yeah, it looks like, I would have sold, on this massive rise in 2015-16. I would have sold that. But I still remember taking a position in this company simply because they made a strategic placement at a premium to the share price. And since that rise in share price back in 2016, share price of this company has been dropping. So just because Pengana Capital is taking a strategic position in MTM Critical Metals doesn't really necessarily mean that this company is primed for success. Structural Monitoring Systems is an example of that. You could be saying, well, it's completely different, but I'm just talking about strategic placements not done at a discount. That's what I'm talking about here. Anyway, so the market likes this. I'm pretty sure this company share price is all over the place. But let's have a look. I would say generally it's in an uptrend. I could be wrong though. Yeah, generally it's an uptrend. There was a bit of a dip. Yeah, a bit of a dip, and the share price has bounced off the 25-day moving average. Pretty nice. Actually, this chart's not that bad. I like this chart. And if you have a look at the volume, look at the volume. Look at the nice little spike in volume on the 21st of August. Share price didn't really fall all that much, which is like what I like to see. And the share price did find some support at the 25-day moving average and has continued to go up since then. And then we've seen volume increase as well. So a nice looking chart for MTM Critical Metals. Do I have this on my watch list? I do not. I think I might just want to follow this company just a little bit more closely. Anyway, so that's the main thing I've got away from the top gainers by percentage change is MTM Criticals, Prescient Therapeutics. Now this one, very close to being in the running for the top 5 stocks of the day. US FDA allows PTX 100 PH2 trial. So phase 2 trial doesn't really do anything for me. I'm mostly interested in phase 3 trials. If they have a successful phase 2 trials, I've become a little bit more interested. But I'm on the mind that phase 3 trials is where I'm at when it comes to these sort of companies. This is a step in the right direction, but because I've become a little bit more risk averse, I want to see more proof of concept when it comes to these type of pharmaceutical companies. So let's have a look at the chart for Prescient, just to see if the chart looks any good. And to be honest with you, the answer to that is no. Share price has been a downtrend, and we have seen a fair bit of selling today. And I don't like to see these one-day candlesticks. And you see these one-day candlesticks when there's not as much strength to announcement as what you'd like. So the sellers are way more enthusiastic than the buyers, and that enthusiasm sends the share price down. And the reason they're more enthusiastic is because there will be shareholders who bought at high prices in the past. You see share price has fallen, has been falling for a long time. So there will be a lot of shareholders underwater, significantly underwater with this company. And they saw the share price rally today and they went, oh, I can now sell my shares at not a bigger loss as it could have been just yesterday. I'm going to sell my shares. I'll just sell on a market. I don't care the price. And that is, or does, put pressure on the share price. And that's why we've seen a pretty negative one-day candlestick. So pretty high volume, but a lot of shareholders getting out. A lot of people will say, well, for every seller, there is a buyer. That's true, but it's the enthusiasm. That's why the share price has fallen like this. So I would assume that a lot of buyers, what they're doing is putting their orders in limit. They're not buying on market. If they're buying on market, the share price more than likely would have been sustained at, say, above 5 or 6 cents, but it's not. It's dropped to 4.8 cents. Okay. And, BrainChip. I don't remember seeing BrainChip anywhere. So this could be just a bit of a shift in sentiment. Yeah, the last announcement they released was 1 week ago. So let's just have a quick look at the chart for BrainChip. Is this a shift in the trend in the share price? Oh, well, it's starting to look way more interesting than it has before. Unfortunately for BrainChip, the valuation of the company is way too high for my liking, but the company is starting to release more interesting announcements. For instance, the $1.8 million contract with Air Force Research Laboratory, licensing of the BrainChip Akita IP. They're starting to release more interesting announcements, but they need to continue this momentum in terms of news flow moving forward. And that's it. Ooh, SPC Global's had a nice, really good bounce. Nanoview was a company that quite close to making in my top 5, up 16.7%. Just going to have a quick look at the chart for Nanoview. And, I'm not as interested in this chart, to be honest with you. Okay, so let's have a look at the top gainers by market cap. Just to see what we missed. Mesoblast. So I'm really happy to see Mesoblast up since I took a position in this company on open. In fact, I believe that would be the low of the day. I don't think it would be much lower than the open. And that's it's down a little bit now. So a little bit of selling the last 20 minutes. Yeah, opened at 241, which was down from Friday. Yeah, so we saw a really bad day on Friday. And I think a lot of people who probably don't follow the trading of company on a daily basis, they probably saw the share price down and they went, I've got to sell on open. And that's why the share price actually opened lower today. And that's why I actually did take a position on open for this company. How my other Paradigm? How's this one going? Oh, it's up. So I bought on open 39 cents and I'm in profit already. Good. Okay, so Mesoblast, Appen. So a lot of these tech companies doing good. Looks like a lot of uranium companies doing really well as well. We've got Deep Yellow, Bannerman, Lotus Resources there. Orthocell, another really good day. Beautiful looking chart. I just wish I bought more shares in that company. Electro-Optic Systems, up 10.56% on announcement of contracts. Not a big contract, only $34 million of new orders. But this company, a lot of times, will have much bigger orders than that. So a little bit surprised that the market has reacted positively, although it could be just overall sentiment, and maybe shares are oversold because the chart doesn't look that good for electro-optics. In fact, it probably looks more negative than positive. Yeah, I'd say that. It looks more negative than positive. So no interest in trading electro-optics anyway. And what else do we have here? AI Media. This is one I want to own maybe for the longer term. And the whole reason is just because of their forward guidance, their future guidance. I forget how many years in advance. But this company, if they do reach their future goals, will experience significant growth. The big question there is if they reach their goals. So that's one of the reasons why I wouldn't mind taking position in AI Media. And maybe I'm too late. Maybe not too late, but anything else, anything to disparage about this chart? I think the answer is no. It's pretty good chart for AI media. And that's it. Okay, now let's get to the top losers. And I already know which two companies are going to be in this list. I'm not sure exactly where they're going to fit. And there we are. Second top loser is EML Payments, down 20.56%. Pretty big turnover, so that is a stock of the day. Moshio and C29 Metals, I'm pretty sure both of those companies did not release anything because fairly low turnover. Moshio, I am sort of keeping an eye on. I would say, yeah, they didn't release anything. This is just noise. You can see that. The share price went down to 2.8 cents. Someone sold on market. Someone just dumped their shares on market. They didn't care what price they got. They just dumped on market, and you can see the share price at 2.8 cents. When the next trade comes in, the share price will lift significantly, probably up 10%, yeah, from that. So let's have a see if someone just dumped on market. Yeah, someone dumped on market. Yep, a few dumps on market, sent the share price down. I think someone panicked. Share price was as low as 2.5 cents. That's just ridiculous. I'm sorry, whoever sold at that level. That's just ridiculous. That's just, you're just giving into fear. You're just giving into fear when it comes to this company. Chart was starting to look good. Yeah, chart was starting to look good. But you can see probably low liquidity. And this can happen with companies that have low liquidity, that if someone just dumps on market, they become a little bit fearful. And you can see a lot of selling. Someone just dumped on market, bit of selling, stop losses hit, share price went to a low of 2.5 cents. And since then, yeah, the share price will, the next trade, the share price could almost go back up to where it started at 3.3 to 3.5 cents. Interesting trading when it comes to that company. But again, it's low turnover, low liquidity, nothing to be concerned about. And there's Integrated Research, another company in my top 5 stocks of the day, down 17.4%. So I'll talk about that company later. And to be honest with you, nothing else much to talk about here. WA1 Resources, did they release anything? I don't remember. This company releasing anything? No, this is just, I am assuming, and of course, making assumptions, you can just make an ass out of you and me when you do that. I'm just assuming this is just, ooh, interesting. Look what the share price is right now. It's at the previous lows, the 2 lows we saw previously. I don't know what's caused this selling in WA1 Resources. So buying at about $12. Oh, it's already rallied in the last 20 minutes. It's already gone from $12.10 to $12.45. So a nice little rally in WA1 Resources. Looks like it's bouncing off a support level. Oh, that's it. Now let's turn our attention to the top 5 stocks of the day. Now, before we do that, the only company I do want, actually, I'll mention the companies that did not make it in the top 5. In fact, what I'm going to do is just to see how the share price has performed for these companies. Austal, they announced a contract or something, or award of additional Evolve Cape-class patrol boats. Not much reaction from the market. Let's move on to the next one. Black Cat Syndicate, they actually did release an announcement that does interest me. Paulson's first gold. So this company is now in production. Market didn't care. So that's probably good. That's not in the top 5 stocks of the day. A company called EPNT Global. Share price has not moved. In fact, there's been no trading today. They secured $500,000 in annual revenue. Pretty small amount of revenue, but this company is fairly small. Has a market cap of $12 million, but illiquidly traded. No trades at all today. What else? I've already talked about Electro Optics, Nanoview, Infini is in my top 5. Pro Medicus, another nice little contract from this company. Share price up a little bit. Not up as much, but they signed a $30 million 7-year contract with Julie Health and Care. It's not as good as that 10-year, $330 million contract with Trinity Health, but it all adds up. And no, I was going to say another company, but that is in my top 5 stocks. And finally, I was going to say National Weather Service. So whenever I want to see what's happening in the United States weather, I just type in NWS, which is National Weather Service. I love this site. And that is also the ticker code for News Corp. And they've sold Foxtel. They have sold Foxtel. They released this at 10 a.m. This is more personal than anything else because I don't subscribe to Foxtel itself, but I do subscribe to KO Sports, which I think is much better than just subscribing to all these channels you don't watch. So much cheaper, much cheaper, and also streaming. I can watch KO wherever I go. It's awesome. Anyway, so Foxtel have decided to sell themselves to, well, News Corp. I don't think it's Foxtel. News Corp have decided to sell Foxtel to this international streaming sports entity that I've never heard of before, to be honest with you, spelled DAZN. And I found out today you pronounce this company, I thought it would have been DAZN. No, you pronounce it as DAZN. I was like, oh, geez. Oh. Okay, you pronounce this company that has bought Foxtel as DAZN. This is an international streaming service. I didn't even realize you can actually subscribe to this service in Australia. I didn't know that. Yeah, I did not know that until I just Googled it. I went, DAZN. Okay, what is this? And yeah, you could DAZN Australia. They have NFL games, big fights, MMA, UEFA, women's. So it seems like they are acquiring a lot of sports. I think this is the only reason. I'm sort of shocked that News Corp decided to sell Foxtel. What they should have done is they should have spun out all those crappy parts of Foxtel except the sports. But maybe sports or KO was the prize in DAZN's reasoning behind buying Foxtel. They just wanted the sports because sports is the future of TV. I'll be honest with you. So remember in the past, everyone used to watch on a nightly, every single night, you used to watch the same TV shows. When I grew up, we only had 2 TV stations, which was Prime or Channel 7 and ABC. So I never could watch Neighbours, for instance, because it wasn't on Channel 7. But Home and Away, I could watch that if I wanted to. But of course, I didn't. So people would gather around the TV, watch their shows at the same time, go to school the next morning or work and talk about that show. Same sort of thing, what happened with like Game of Thrones, that sort of thing. That sort of thing is dying off because everyone's watching their TV shows, their movies at a time that is convenient to them. But you can't do that with sport. I suppose you could, but most people want to watch sport when it's happening. You don't want to watch sport on a delay. So I do believe sport is a future of one of the futures of streaming. I think it's going to be very lucrative, that sort of thing, and that's why we're seeing Amazon and all those sort of Netflix, maybe even, are getting involved with the NFL in the United States because there could be a lot of value. Anyway, so I think that's the reasoning why DAZN has bought Foxtel, is simply to get their hands on KO Sports, their hand on the sporting rights, that sort of thing. All the rest, they probably don't care about. Anyway, the other thing I noticed is, a lot of oil money in this. I believe the Ukrainian oil guy, is putting a lot of funds. DAZN is not profitable. They're losing a lot of money, but they're just acquiring all these assets. And according to this, they have the FIFA, that's a FIFA Club World Cup. For an instant there, I thought it said the FIFA World Cup. And I was like, what? The FIFA World Cup? No, FIFA Club World Cup. Okay. So that's the National Weather Service, or News Corp. There it is. News Corp and Telstra sell 3.4 billion Foxtel sale to DAZN. Anyway, News Corp, very close to getting the top 5 stocks today, and I just wanted to talk about it. But coming in number 5, we have Infini Resources. This is really interesting. So I really want to talk about this because the share price of Infini Resources on Friday rallied a lot. And I was like, what's going on here? Up 28%. And I noticed the chart looked really interesting as well. There was something happening here with Infini Resources. And I thought, the company's going to get a price query. I believe they went into trading halt. Yep, on Friday evening. They were pausing trading at 3:33 p.m. Trading halt at 5:46 p.m. I don't remember me opening this up. I saw that word pause, and I just want to see what they mentioned in this particular announcement. Okay. In respect of response to an ASX price query received today, with an announcement regarding the company's expanded UAV magnetic survey. suggesting the whole reason why the share price rallied is because someone saw the news flow from the company and they hadn't released it yet. So loose lips, is anything going to happen to these people who are buying, who saw this news, even though it's insider trading? No, nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen at all. Who cares? So seems like they just don't care. Anyway, so it's really interesting. They released two announcements just fairly close together, 4 minutes apart. I thought they should have released the ASX price query first, but they released the expanded UAV magnetic survey results at Paul & Creek. And usually when a company does answer a price query from the ASX, typically the answer to the first question is no. That's typical. 98% of times you'll see a no, because you're sort of admitting that something's gone awry. The news you have has been leaked and someone's buying shares because of your leaked news, which is not a good look. Anyway, so this company has answered yes, which you don't often see. So that's why I've included this company in the top 5 stocks. So the first question is your company aware of any news or information, as ASX says here, concerning that has not been released or announced to the market, which, if known by some in the market, could explain the recent trading of securities? In other words, insider trading. And typically, as I mentioned before, most companies say, or most management of companies say no. And that's all they say, no, one word. Infini says yes. As previously announced to the ASX, so they released that 4 minutes before this, the company was undertaking an expanded UAV, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, and then they say yes. If they answer yes, they have to answer question 2. If they don't answer if they say no to question 1, they don't have to answer question 2, and you can go through all disclosure things anyway. And then they don't have to answer question 3. And most companies answer question 3 because they answer question 1 with a no. Anyway, so really interesting. They've also answered. It's really interesting. It says, question 3 says, if the answer to question 1 is no, is there any other explanation? So Infini doesn't have to answer anything. They don't have to say anything, but they've said, well, we're going to answer this anyway. Whilst the answer to question 1 was yes, so the ASX should say, no, just, you don't have to answer this one. You don't need any other reason. There's nothing else you need to say here. Nothing. Anyway, so share price down, which means, well, maybe the magnetic survey wasn't as good as maybe the people buying up on Friday thought it was going to be. Anyway, so that's company coming in number 5, Infini Resources. I'm pretty sure it's uranium in Canada, Newfoundland. I'm pretty sure Paul & Creek's in Newfoundland or Nova Scotia, somewhere like that. Let me just have a look. Yeah, it's in Newfoundland. Never been there, but I have heard the Newfoundlandish accent, and it's weird. I'm going to have to admit, it is weird. Okay, so coming in number 4, we have Compumedics. I'm going to be honest with you. When I saw this announcement when it was released, so it comes along with the other announcement, I thought this was ComputerShare or CompuShare, whatever it's called. And I just went, really? CompuShare has record sales orders? What's happening there? And then I just went, oh, Compumedics. Anyway, so first half, financial year 25, record sales orders taken. I honestly thought the share price would be up a little bit more. I didn't think this was the most amazing announcement, but above guidance sales. This was like a revenue upgrade. Record first half financial year 25 sales orders driven by USA growth. So pretty positive. And I thought, yeah, share price should be up by way more than 1.89%. Is the market missing this? I don't know. So company financial year 25 guidance, sales more than 55 million, excluding Meg. I wonder if that's a new acquisition. And EBITDA above 5 million. EBITDA will be weighted to the second half due to marketing, and I don't like that, due to marketing and development costs being expensed. Okay, that's okay. I just don't like when something or financial metric is skewed to one half, particularly the second half. So you're relying on improvement performance. This is mostly true for revenue. We have seen one company do that today, and that's Integrated Research, if I remember correctly. But anyway, financial year 25 guidance to be reviewed post first half results finalization. Yeah, I thought this was a pretty good announcement, and I actually thought the share price would be higher. So what might be happening is just negative sentiment in the company, just too many sellers. Volume has been okay. Share price really not doing anything. I just thought, if the share price maybe hadn't been dropping the last month or so, maybe if the share price was like 32 cents before today, this could have been a breakout. So sorry, Compumedics, not your day, when I thought it could have been. Okay, Polynovo. They did release something, at 10:30 a.m. First $10 million Australian dollars sales month. I'll be honest with you, this is not the sort of nice announcement that will get me excited, but the market did get excited. In fact, at one point, the share price was up about 8%. They were going to get to this, this, I don't know what you call it, this important level, $10 million of sales in a month eventually, because sales are growing. I don't think they really have to announce it. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think they have to announce this sort of thing. But I don't know, maybe they have their own goals, and this was one of their goals they just wanted to crow about. The US business grew strongly with monthly sales of 7 million, year to date 33.9 million. And if you have a look at the sales monthly milestones, you can just see it. It's gone from $3.3 million in June 2021 up to 10.1. So it's more than tripled over the past, 3 years, 3 and a bit years. So the next thing we want to see, or I want to see, is profitability, sustainable profitability. Anyway, so let's have a little chart for Polynovo. Share price has been under pressure, which is interesting, and you do have to pay a pretty penny for this company. So a lot of potential promise has already been priced into the valuation of the company. And when I say that, I'm going to say the valuation of the company maybe 1.25 billion. Oh, 1.35 billion, very close. Anyway, the first thing I noticed when I look at the chart is the share price is in a downtrend. Share price had moved into an uptrend back in, or this time last year, was in an uptrend for most of the year. Share price went from about $1.40 all the way up to almost doubled. And unfortunately, sentiment has shifted to negative. Share price has actually moved into a downtrend. So even though this was a good day for the share price, not my favorite type of announcement, the share price has rallied. So maybe this is a flaw. There is a bit of support right there. There is support, by the way, at that price. The share price did fall to this level back in April, also in November, and also early November and also late November. So nice little support at this level, but I would assume the share price might drop below that. Might. Anyway, so pretty good day for Polynovo, but yeah, anyway. Now on to integrated research. Okay, this is an interesting one because share price down 16.5%. A trading update from the company. And I will be honest with you because I had been trading integrated research. I took profits. I completely sold out maybe a month ago. And the reason I completely sold out is just because the chart looks... In fact, the chart looks like the market is thinking that the company might release something negative. And so I saw this company release a trading update, and the first thing I thought was, let's see if the market is right. I think the market is expecting something negative, and let's see if the company has released something negative. Well, we know share price is down 16.5%. So this is a negative trading update. They tried to spin it positively, though. They tried their best. Now, there are questions about the CEO of this company, whether he's the right person to lead or move forward for this company, but I think he has to prove himself. Straight away, I knew this was going to be negative just because of the commentary in the first bit. Where was it? Given the significant variability in length and value of individual contracts, renewals can vary widely year on year. See chart below. As stated at the company's AGM, renewals are softer in financial year 25 versus financial year 24. So some of this information was already known, but if this announcement or trading update was really positive, they would have been screaming it straight away. And the very fact they're trying to justify or reason why this was a bad trading update is in itself a reason to be negative. So a lot of negative numbers here. So we're talking about TCV down significantly. They also said, well, new business TCV is stronger and anticipated to be in the range of 7.5 to 9.5, an increase of 87%. But TCV down 39%. Revenue down 34%. EBITDA down 93%. And they also mention here TCV for clients contracts due for renewal in the second half of financial year 25 is significantly stronger than the first half. So they are sort of implying here that there is a weighting, a skew to the second half of the year. And the market doesn't like that sort of thing. I've come to that realization. The market doesn't like when you say we expect much better performance in the second half. They're dubious. They're skeptical. They think you're BSing. I've come to that conclusion over the past few months because I've seen quite a few companies who release these sort of announcements that we expect to skew in the second half, and whether it does come to fruition, who knows, but the market is skeptical. Okay, so let's have a look at the chart for Integrated Research. Yeah, so I bought back in, wasn't that long ago, March. So bought in March. You can just see how quickly, it doesn't take much for sentiment to go from positive, from sort of neutral or shifting to positive, really positive in the first half of this year, particularly between, say, April, May, and also July. So not a very long time when there was positive sentiment. And that sentiment changed when the company released their full year results in August. It completely changed on that day. That was a sell signal. And then I sold a fair few shares then, and then I completely sold out maybe a month ago because the chart was looking negative. The chart was telling me something's not right with this company. And then I think this announcement sort of proved that just looking at a chart can lead you in the right direction. So I'm very happy right now that I'm not holding shares in this company. Now, if it was a positive announcement, I'd have been ruining the market for leading me astray. But it didn't. It led me in the right direction. Thank you, market. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, and the stock of the day, which I have recorded a standalone video, is EML Payments, one of the weirdest announcements of the day. Share price just keeps on dropping. One of the, not weirdest announcements of the day, one of the most bewildering, strangest leadership changes. We have a new CEO who's been in charge for 6 months, leading this EML 2.0 strategy. And they announced this at the AGM 1 month ago. I believe it was November 26th. And then 1 month later, we're getting rid of this CEO. We don't think he's the right person. Something has happened. We don't know why, because I haven't mentioned anything in this announcement. But the market hates these sort of announcements. It raises questions, way more questions than answers. It's more risk in the company as well. But there's also an argument. If this company can achieve their goals, just their EBITDA goals for this particular financial year, this company is looking good value. Anyway, so wait out for that standalone video on EML Payments, the stock of the day. Now let's have a look at some of your comments. Animal Nature YT, thoughts on Droneshield? Possible move into an uptrend and high quality company? Well, straight away, I would not define this company as high quality. It has to prove itself to me over many years before I would define this company as high quality. I'm not even sure if this company is profitable just yet. So straight away, if a company is not profitable, it can't be, by definition, by my definition, it's high quality. It has to be profitable. That's probably the first goal it must achieve, is to become profitable. It also has to grow its revenue over time. Okay, so straight away, I would say by my definitions, now maybe by your definitions, this is a high quality company. And I actually do believe everyone should have their own definitions. Empower yourself to find out what your definition is of high quality. So for you, it could be high quality. For me, it is not. Okay, so let's have a look at the chart for Droneshield. I don't think it's moving into an uptrend. Today's probably pretty good. Yeah, today's good. So I wouldn't be in this at all. Yeah, even though share price is up today, it's just, this chart looks pretty negative. Now, if we go back in time, you can see share price not doing much between, well, in 2023, and it started to move up in late 2023. Yeah, so that's the time to have been really excited about Droneshield, and at that point, the share price was 30 to 35 cents. So I would not be shocked if the share price fell to that level. Now, it doesn't mean it will, but I would not be shocked because the share price is now in a downtrend. There's no uptrend at all, even thinking of developing right now with Droneshield. The other thing to pay attention is the volume. Look at the volume just dropping, gradually and gradually dropping. That's not good. Now, if we start to see volume pick up, that could be a sign the market is saying, oh, I see some good value in this company right now. So with the volume just continually dropping, that's not a thing I want to see. You see this a lot. Companies in downtrends, the volume just keep on dropping and dropping and dropping, and the share price just keeps on dropping and dropping because there's no buyers. Buyers just, we don't want this. And then when you see volume starting to increase, that can be a good sign. So a lot of times volume does precede price action. Anyway, so I would personally not be interested in trading Droneshield and not be interested in long-term position because by my definition, and that's very important, by my definition, this company is not high quality. Blades of Men said, I know you've been looking at Singular Health, SHG. Did you read the latest announcement? I think the answer to that is no. Singular Health, I don't remember this company releasing anything positive today. Share price up 12.5%. Investor presentation on the 4th was the last price-sensitive announcement. And today they did release engagement of Dr. Ronnie Lowe as technical advisor. It's interesting if they didn't actually put in those last 3 words. Engagement of Dr. Ronnie Lowe will be going, well, congratulations, you're getting married. This is not the sort of announcement. I don't know anything about Dr. Ronnie Lowe. Maybe you know way more about this person than I do. Maybe he's well known in the field. Maybe this is a significant announcement, but it's not marked price sensitive. So completely missed this one. And even if it was, this sort of announcement would not draw me in. Now, the chart for Singular Health looks stunning. But I would also would I trade this right now? The answer to that is no. The share price has just gone up way too quickly. Whenever you see the share price rise so quickly in such a short time, there's going to be pressure eventually on the share price. And I would not be shocked to see the share price drop significantly at some point. If it doesn't, if the share price sort of goes sideways, that would be a good sign. But yeah, I'm not even interested in trading Singular Health right now. A little bit too late. I was thinking of taking a position about 12 cents. There was a little bit of pullback on the 9th of December. So we're talking about 2 weeks ago. That was the time to get excited. But it's put it this way, the share price right now is significantly higher than the 25-day moving average, significantly higher than that. And that's sort of where you might see a pullback too. So no interest in Singular Health right now as a trade. Your Frenchman, if I recall, you put no more than $5,000 in any one stock. I'm curious, of your own capital allocating, what portion of your $5,000 budget would you allocate to buying the dip of Vulcan as a trade? If me in this scenario, I'd enter 1,000 every time. I think it hits the new lowest point, but max at 5,000. All right, so if I actually did think about Vulcan today. I was looking at this chart and thinking, oh, this could be a nice little, this could be the low, around about $5.30, and it has rallied a little bit today. I just like a little bit of confirmation. You can see really good volume coming in on Friday. That could be a good sign we're near the low. And yeah, but it all depends on my confidence and conviction. For this one, because the share price has dropped a fair bit, there's potential share price could keep on dropping. But you have to put in a fairly tight stop loss, but I think the upside is pretty good as well. So I probably wouldn't put much, maybe 2,000, 1,000, 2,000. Now, the other thing I'm thinking about, just by reading this, so a lot of my rules, this $5,000 rule is something I developed 12, 13 years ago when my capital was significantly lower than it is now. And I've been thinking my capital now, because it's so much higher, I should change my thinking that maybe I should raise that to $10,000. So whenever I buy, say, a high quality companies, it's $5,000. It's always been that. So when I bought, say, Amazon or maybe Google or CSL, REA Group, whatever, ProMedicus, $5,000. Actually, ProMedicus wasn't $5,000 because I thought it was overvalued. I was like, well, if we do see a pullback in the share price, I'll add to my position. So with ProMedicus, it was just valuation. The reason why I didn't put $5,000, but I'm thinking now it should be $10,000. Now, a lot of my positions now are over $10,000 because the share price have rallied. That's the whole. So a lot of these high quality positions are $10,000 or more. So maybe I should change it to 10,000. Your question is making me think about that. because my capital has grown. My capital is significantly higher when I first started doing what I was doing, 5,000 in any position. Thank you for that question. You're making me think. Okay, Fishball says, hi, Perenti has really done well since you bought. Since it's reaching a yearly high, also dividend coming in share buybacks, there seems to be less resistance as most holders want to hold on to see what the next report will bring. What is your price target? When will you sell? I sometimes think selling is even harder than the stock. Okay, I would agree. Selling can be harder. It's one of the reasons why I want to draw up some rules, buying and selling rules, to make the process easier. And that way, if you follow your process, then you don't have to think twice about a trade. Yes, it's a buy, or yes, it's a sell. Follow the process. Stick to the process. So with Perenti, I have no price target. It's just the chart. It's just a chart. Now, when you said I've done really well since I bought, it's only up, what's that, 20%? 20%, yeah, 20% or so. And the time to buy this would have been just before I bought, I think. But the share price had moved into an uptrend back in May and was sort of going sideways, slowly going up, but it really started to take off really on the 17th of October. There must have released something positive on that day because I bought shortly after that. The share price went sideways. So we saw a really good run up in the share price. And then I was just watching the movement in the share price of this company. I just saw it going sideways. I went, okay, that's what I want to see. That's a sign that there's strength in this move. And I bought some shares. And as soon as share price got close to the 25-day moving average, the share price started to go up. So at this point in time, I don't have any price target. I'm just using the chart. And at this point in time, there's no reason for me to be even thinking about selling Perenti. Share price today got to a long-term high. And by the way, the last time share price was this high for Perenti was about 3.5 years ago. So we're at a 3.5-year high. So that means, there's less resistance moving forward because many shareholders are probably in the green. They're probably in the green. I'm assuming most of the shareholders right now have bought in the last 3 years. Not all of them would have, but a lot of them have. And they're all feeling really good about Perenti right now. So no reason to be selling. I agree, selling can be harder, and that's why I am developing rules that I want to stick to. And at this point in time, there's no reason for me to sell Perenti based off my rules. SOUN 923, been a holder of PeopleIN since $2.30, average down to $1.40. Hope you're all right about it going back to the fight. Well, it might. I would not count on it. It might. That's the upside, potential upside. And the most important word there is potential. Now, potentially it could go to $10. Don't know. Anyway, I think $5 is a reasonable potential upside. This is probably buying my worst loser. What I am still interested in is if unemployment starts to climb, what effect it will have on the business. I actually don't know. I do think this is a low quality company, but this is a good reason why technical analysis can be really good. So let's have a look at PeopleIN chart. So you bought at 230 and then averaged down to 140. It's not my favorite sort of strategy, but because it can go really pear-shaped. If you keep averaging down, it can go pear-shaped because you're putting more and more capital into this losing position. And what if the company goes bankrupt? I'm not saying PeopleIN will go bankrupt, but just what if? So $2.30. So you obviously bought when the share price was, well, I'm not sure when you bought. You could have bought years ago. You could have bought back in 2020 when the share price was rising. But there was a period here when the share price was just in a downtrend, well-defined downtrend. No reason to be buying at all during most of this downtrend, unless it was a trade, which I did do for a short period. But right now, the chart is starting to look a little bit better. Starting to. Again, I think $1 is a really important level, psychological barrier for this company's chart or share price. But it is sticking close to $1, which is a good sign. I think it will break above $1, and that's why I have put a bid in. Put a bid in 93 cents or 93.5 cents. Just want to see if it gets hit. If it gets hit, that'd be great. But if not, I might just take a sneaky small position waiting for the breakout. And if the breakout happens, I might add to that position. Other than that, it's a low-quality company. Margins are really low for this company. So if unemployment does negatively affect this company, then those low margins, that could mean this company is a loss-making company, which would be bad. And that's one of the reasons why I don't like low-margin companies, because the smallest thing that goes wrong can destroy the company. Rick Thellian says interpreter. Oh, that's right. I couldn't think of the word for people who deal with changing languages. And then I came up with two words: translator and interpreter. So yeah, interpreter. It happens to me sometimes when I'm trying to think of the word. Maybe it happens to everyone, and I can't think of the word. And then when you're not trying to think of the word, many words pop up. So translator, interpreter. I'm not sure if Straker does that. I'm pretty sure AI Media does. I'm not sure Straker, but they have something to do with languages. Maybe it is interpretation. I don't know. And Sensei says NIC for the win. Contacts, I don't know. 23. What's happening with NIC? Did I even talk about NIC? There's a reason why I don't really think about this company much, because the chart looks pretty crappy. And, well, maybe not that crappy, and it's a mining company. Saji Varghese, Soundhound AI is chart looking interesting. Thanks, Kneppy. Soundhound AI. Is this a company I don't know much about? Soundhound AI. I'm assuming they have something to do with AI. And, well, you're not wrong. Again, I mentioned this with, what company was it? Singular Health. Whenever you see the share price just rally significantly over a very short period of time, you're going to see generally, the share price pull back eventually. So we saw this with Soundhound AI. Share price broke out February of this year, and the share price rallied from $2 all the way up to $10. So nice little fire bagger. And the share price pulled back from $10 all the way back down to $3.50. Not saying that's going to happen with Singular Health, but this happens a lot. When you see share price rally like this, I prefer more orderly, slower rises, because you get less day traders. So day traders would be in this company right now. And we've seen the same thing. The share price has gone exponentially higher. And look at the volume. The other thing, look at the volume. Look at the massive volume coming here, and then they just dry up in the volume. So probably day traders again. Share price then went sideways. And then we started to see share price starting to go higher, and also volume going higher as well. Maybe this is a more sustainable increase in share price, but again, share price has gone from $5 to $6 up to $24. So another four bagger. And again, I wouldn't be surprised to see the share price drop a little bit from here. I don't know anything about this company. Revenue in the last year, 46 million, and their loss was double their revenue. Revenue is nicely increasing, but company has a market cap of $8 billion. So a lot of promise has been priced into this company. Soundhound. I don't think I have this on any of my watch lists. Yeah, I don't. I'm going to put this in one of my watch lists, my USA watch list. I'm going to do some research on this company, because the valuation is really high. So they must be doing something really exciting. Anyway, so thank you for that, Saji Varghese. You have provided me with a company I know nothing about, and that's what I like. Just James Dean says, looking at JB High's PE chart, should we instead look for a breakout in PE? I don't think. No. I probably would not use breakouts when it comes to PEs. I don't think. I don't think I'd ever do that. I'll be honest. I don't think I'd ever do that. No. So the simple answer there is no. And Health 7085, Nova Minerals chart starting to look interesting. Gold Explorer in Alaska. So straight away, you know that I'm not the biggest fan of mining companies, not the biggest fan of exploring companies either. And the main reason behind that, if you've not heard, I have looked at how I've performed, different sectors, different type of companies, that sort of thing. And I tend to perform worse when it comes to mining companies and mining exploring companies. So why not stick to what I'm better at, and that is non-mining companies. And I think there are reasons behind that. I think it's one of the reasons why is I have way less conviction when it comes to mining companies, because they are price takers, they're low quality, that sort of thing. Anyway, so let's have a look at Nova Minerals. Just because I'm not interested doesn't mean you don't have to be. There's a lot of opportunities out there. So is this company dual listed? Looks like it is. It's listed on the Nasdaq as well. And yeah, this chart. So straight away, I'm going to put this into my. I have a breakout chart. I'll put it into my breakout. This chart does look interesting. So we have seen the share price turn up, telltale signs of a shift in trend with the higher highs and the higher lows. You can see share price went on a really good rally. And this is just the same as Singular Health and Soundhound. Share price went on a pretty big rally from 13 cents up to 30 cents in a fairly short period of time. And then we had the pullback from 30 cents down to 19 cents, 18 cents. And yeah, then the share price has rallied again. A good looking chart for Nova Minerals. And the other thing is volume. Look at the volume. Some really good volume coming in. And the really big volume started near the low. So again, volume sometimes precede price action. I'm starting to look at volume more and more when it comes to that. In fact, this peak in volume for Nova Minerals was over 3 days. So that's a pretty good sign. Someone was taking a position. That's a good sign. And then the share price rallied just after that. That's really interesting. Really interesting chart. Thank you, Health. So even though I'm not that interested in the company itself, the chart does look interesting, and you can learn a lot about this particular. You can learn a lot about technical analysis just by looking at this chart. Look at the volume, look at the price action, that sort of thing. Is it possible to screen stocks? This is from Just James Dean. He wants to know if there's any way to screen stocks with falling number of shares issued. I actually don't know that one. Let's have a Ganza. Let's have a look at the filter. Oh, no, that's the wrong. I don't want that. I want stock screener. And let's have a look at filter. By the way, this will be my last question because I'm getting to an hour. Maybe shares outstanding. Shares float. Shares outstanding. No, so this is just total. This is not shares outstanding increasing or decreasing. So I'd say maybe not, maybe not. But it is an interesting question because shares decreasing, they're doing a share buyback, that sort of thing, and it actually could be fairly positive to see those companies who have shares issued decreasing. So it's probably definitely more positive than shares increasing, unless they're doing a split and that sort of thing. Okay, and I'll do this last one. 9 slide glide sends. When you are discussing JB Hi-Fi and its valuation, I think you are using the term margin expansion when you are actually referring to multiple expansion. If I ever said margin expansion when I was talking about valuation with JB Hi-Fi, I definitely meant multiple expansion. Sometimes I just don't know what I'm saying, but definitely multiple expansion, not margin expansion. Maybe margins are expanding for JB Hi-Fi, but definitely multiple expansion. PEs has gone from 8 to 24. That's the definition of multiple expansion, when the P ratio has tripled over a short period of time. I think that period of time is maybe a year, 2 years. I agree the multiple is very high, but keep in mind the strong financial position of the business. Net cash is above 300 million. As for over a decade, the PE does not consider this aspect. That's true. They made one recent acquisition, and I wouldn't be surprised that another one is in the pipeline. No doubt there will be a few distressed retailers about with owners looking to exit. Some good points there from Nide Slide Glide. And yeah, nothing negative to say about JB Hi-Fi, except maybe the valuation. But he says, again, they do have some pretty good net cash. And that is the end of my questions and comments for today. If you have any questions, any thoughts, leave those in the comment section of this video. Otherwise, I am not a financial advisor. If you need financial advice, make sure you seek out someone who is qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's it for this video. Have a good day. Bye.